these are the 10 best brawlers that you need to max out right now in Brawl Stars. Now, we're currently on season 38 and there's 92 brawlers in the game right now, but only a handful of these brawlers are worth maxing out right now. Yeah, dog, you're not getting maxed out this season. And yeah, stay tuned for the last 3 brawlers on this list because these are brawlers that you need to max out, especially before they get nerfed and dropped to the F tier. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe because I'm on my way to 200,000 subscribers. So subscribe or you will turn into a coin, okay? Coming in at number 10, we have the new brawler Kenji Gaming. Now, Kenji is a really unique support brawler, and if you know how to properly use him, you can really take advantage of this brawler, especially at the max level. Now, with this brawler, you can speed up teammates with the super or heal them, which is really interesting. That's why it's called Mix It Up. And what's great about his super is that it recharges really fast, so you can quickly alternate between speeding up and healing your teammates. Kenji also does a decent amount of damage for a support brawler and has a good amount of range, so it's really easy to shoot enemies and also heal teammates. But yeah, I recommend maxing out Kenji if you're looking for a new support brawler to max out. And if you plan on maxing out Kenji, be sure to play him in 3v3 game mode so that you can be a support brawler and speed up your teammates and heal them. At number 9, we have Mr. Boomerang Gaming, Carl. Now, let me tell you something about this gadget. It is one of the biggest reasons why Carl is breaking this game. His gadget pretty much creates a flame that follows his attack, so if the enemy walks through that flame, they are cooked, okay? Now, Supercell also gave Carl a hypercharge, and I'm not gonna lie, I've never used this hypercharge, and I actually still don't have it, and I am still getting a bunch of wins with Carl. But if you plan on maxing out Carl, I highly suggest getting his hypercharge as well because it will just make him 10 times more broken, and his hypercharge pretty much gives him a flame trail when he uses his super, so just imagine how much damage that can do. But yeah, Carl is a damage dealer and he's honestly good in almost any 3v3 game mode. If you're planning to play ranked, Carl is also a good pick depending on the modifier and map that you're playing. And yeah, if you've made it this far into the video, comment how many brawlers you have maxed out. But yeah, number 8 is surprisingly Big Tank Hank. I mean, this shrimp used to be an F tier brawler, so it's crazy to see that he's breaking the game right now. Now, Hank recently had his hypercharge released and it really made him broken. His hypercharge pretty much auto-aims the fish things that he shoots onto enemies, and they do a good amount of damage, okay? I mean, just imagine using this thing in the middle of a gem grab map. Hank has also gotten several buffs. For example, he can now charge his super when taking damage. I personally don't use Hank that much, but every time I'm against one, I usually get cooked. Hank is really good at maps that have a good amount of walls because his attack literally goes through the wall and destroys enemies, okay? Now, Hank's hypercharge did recently get nerfed, but it doesn't matter. Hank is still in the meta and he's a great tank to max out for trophy pushing and ranked. At number 7, we have Amber Gaming. Now, Amber just got her hypercharge released, so it's a perfect time to max her out. She's also pretty broken without her hypercharge, but it's honestly best to take advantage and buy your hypercharge if you want to fully take advantage of this brawler. Now, the amount of range that Amber has is probably the most unfair thing. Like, how is this fair, dude? And don't even get me started with this hypercharge, dude. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. Amber's hypercharge pretty much allows her to throw a huge puddle of oil, and it keeps burning for 3 seconds after being lit. Now, I think that Amber's super without the hypercharge only burns the oil for a few milliseconds, so just imagine 3 seconds, dude. Like I mentioned before, Amber's hypercharge just got released, so it's a perfect time to max her out and take advantage of her new hypercharge, especially in 3v3 game modes. And even if you don't use her new hypercharge, she is still a very broken brawler. Just make sure to use a proper build for Amber. I have personally been using this build and it has been legendary gaming. Number 6 is Bonnie Gaming. Now, Bonnie actually got reworked this update, and this actually made her a better brawler overall. Now, what this rework did was allow Bonnie to instantly turn back into a sniper after jumping and whacking someone out of existence. Now, this puts Bonnie at a strong advantage, especially in game modes like Knockout. If you're low on health, for example, you can jump into another corner, instantly go back into sniper mode, and start sniping your enemies away. This rework really allows you to create more plays with Bonnie, especially in 3v3 game modes when you're playing aggressive. So if you're looking for a solid marksman to max out, I highly suggest maxing out Bonnie. Now, it may take some time to properly learn how to use Bonnie in her new rework. Once you start getting some wins in and understand how to use Bonnie, max her out, okay? And yeah, we are almost at the final 3 brawlers that you need to max out this season. You don't want to miss these brawlers because they are completely breaking the game right now. At number 5, we have Finks Gaming, and this is a control brawler that you should definitely max out if you want. Now, Finks does a crazy amount of damage against enemies, and you don't even want to get me started with his super, dude. His super is extremely helpful in game modes like Brawl and Gem Grab. It slows down enemy attacks and speeds up teammates' attacks, so you can easily dodge enemy attacks when you're in some crazy insane fights. Now, the best aspect about Finks is definitely the amount of damage he does and how his attack is structured. You can see here that his attack has 3 shots, with the middle shot having the most range and damage, so you obviously want the middle part of his attack to hit the enemy because it does more damage, but if there's other enemies nearby, they can also get hit by the right or left side of the attack, and that makes this brawler really good in 3v3 game modes. Binks also has some really good star powers and gadgets that you can use, like the no escape gadget, which literally freezes an enemy completely for 2 seconds, or the star power thing that reduces the reload speed of enemies by 30%, and that is when they're hit by Finks' main attack. Now, if you're looking for another marksman to max out, we have B Gaming at number 4. Now, I'm putting B on this list because every time I'm against one, I get cooked, dude. B's super allows her to slow enemies down, and since she's a marksman, she can literally slow enemies down and spam snipe them. And B also does a ton of damage every time her big sting is activated, so that just makes her even more broken. Using B in open 3v3 maps is probably the best because your enemies will have little to no cover, so you can easily spam snipe them and whack them out of existence. The rattle type gadget also summons 4 bees that makes a huge circle, and this circle of bees can deal up to 1,200 damage. Bee's honeycomb star power also allows her to get a shield when her big sting is activated, and you don't want to forget about her hypercharge, which splits her super projectiles into 2 at max distance. Even if you max out B and choose not to get her hypercharge, she is still an insanely broken marksman that you should consider maxing out, and that's if you're trying to get another max tier brawler or gain more elo in ranked. B is really good in game modes like gem grab, knockout, bounty, and brawl ball. You can even get away with playing B in showdown. But yeah, we are on to the final 3 brawlers that you need to max out this season, and listen, these brawlers are very broken, okay? Coming in at number 3 is a portable ice cream machine, Lou Gaming, and this is a brawler that you need to max out this season for sure. I have been using Lou for the past few months, and I've gained hundreds of trophies with this brawler. Lou has overall been a consistent brawler throughout the months, and this is a great brawler to use in gem grab, hot zone, and brawl ball, especially if you're trying to gain trophies or push elo in rank. Now, if you decide to max out Lou, I highly suggest using this build right here with this hypercharge because it is literally an infinite freeze build, dude. I mean, the gadget adds a 50% freeze meter to enemies, the star power makes enemies get frozen 33% faster, and the hypercharge instantly freezes enemies in the super, which is actually crazy. Now, Lou did recently get a few nerfs, but even with these small nerfs, he is still a consistent and good brawler that you should max out. Now, Lou is a really effective brawler in game modes like hot zone because you can literally infinite freeze your enemies, and I don't think they'll be able to reach the circle. At number 2, we have Griff, and you probably might know why I put him on this list. Hypercharge Gaming. Now, apparently the tax rebate hypercharge is actually really broken and does a crazy amount of damage, so I have a good feeling that it might get nerfed in the next balance changes. With that being said, I highly recommend you max out Griff, get his hypercharge, and take advantage and whack everyone out of existence in 3v3 game modes. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take my own advice and get the hypercharge. Now, if you're wondering what Griff's hypercharge does, just take a look, man. How is that even fair, dude? Honestly, Griff's hypercharge is the main reason you should max him out. Even without his hypercharge, he's a pretty decent brawler, but if you want to fully take advantage of this brawler, just get his hypercharge, dude. But yeah, this is the number 1 brawler that you need to max out this season, and spoiler alert, this brawler is insane, and that is Kenji Gaming. He is breaking the game right now, and you need to max him out. Kenji's mechanics are really good, and if you pair it with the right gadget and star power, he just becomes really broken. I recommend using the healing gadget for Kenji because he takes a good amount of damage when attacking at the closer range, and I use the Study the Blade star power, which gives the slices a 30% increase in range, and you can't forget about the hypercharge, dude. This build itself is already enough to make Kenji broken, but if you want to bring him to the S tier and make him even more broken, you need to max him out and get his hypercharge. Kenji's hypercharge in 3v3 game modes is insane. It essentially pulls enemies to the middle of his super like Tara's super, and he actually ends up teleporting to the center of the X instead of going back to his starting location. If you decide to max out Kenji, be sure to purchase his hypercharge because it is the main reason why he's breaking the game right now, and you need to take advantage of it before it gets nerfed heavy, okay? But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, click on this video to see how you can max out your Brawl Stars account fast.